So the first question, what motivated you to run in the race?
Well, I'm running for re-election because I want to continue bringing experienced, thoughtful, and effective leadership to the Goleta City Council. I'm a fourth generation local. My grandparents and great-grandparents served this community as small business owners, as community leaders, and that tradition of serving our community has just been something that I've always carried with me. I'm also really motivated to run for re-election because as much as we've accomplished in the city in terms of keeping ourselves fiscally sound and healthy and safe, I still feel like there's a lot of things that I want to accomplish, including improvements to the Hollister corridor, continuing to work to increase access to childcare and affordable housing, and continue our work developing our infrastructure. In the city of Goleta, we have added 1,400 new LED streetlights. We added 14 new sidewalks in the second district where I live, primarily in the Old Town area. And I want to be able to keep that progress going. We added a new park, Johnny D. Wallace Park. Behind me here at the community center, there's a new sports field and new pickleball courts that we helped get installed, and a brand new community art project with murals that were done with some of our local Boys and Girls Club students. And so there's just a lot of great things happening in the city, and I want to keep the progress going.
Why should the people of Goleta vote for you?
Well, I think it comes down to the fact that at the end of the day, if we want to keep the progress going, but also solve our shared challenges, it really helps if you have a long track record of experience and local knowledge. And so that's something that I bring. I'm born and raised local. I've lived in the district with my wife, Angie, for 12 years. And so I really understand intimately a lot of the same challenges that people in my community are facing in terms of addressing homelessness and affordable housing and childcare costs and things like that. And I really just want to continue bringing that local know-how to the district.
What do you think the most pressing issue facing the city is right now?
The most pressing issue facing the city is really climate change, and our city has done a lot to address that in terms of going fossil-free by 2030, by doing things like joining Central Coast Community Energy so that our city is really primarily being powered by fossil-free alternatives, and also really living our own values. The city has gone fossil-free itself by increasing our use of alternative energy using a new solar array, Monarch 1, which we unveiled a few months ago. We acquired the City Hall building, which allowed us to do things like solar panels, to move to an all-electric fleet. So a lot of things like that. If we're going to address climate change, we have to act locally and really lead by example. Most recently, we implemented a single-use plastics ban and a polystyrene ban, and that's going to go into effect in a short little while here. And that's going to give businesses a little bit of time to adjust and to adjust to this new reality, while also meeting our goals and ensuring that our local marine life, our creeks and streams and ocean are kept clean and safe as well.
Well, my follow-up was going to be, what is your solution to solve it? But it sounds like you kind of answered that question.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about what's happening in Goleta right now is, all the things that we know we need to work on, we're working on, whether in terms of the fact that we need to continue doing more for bike and pedestrian safety. Tonight at our city council meeting, we're going to be voting to approve the environmental documents for the San Jose Creek bike path project, which is going to connect northern and southern Goleta for the very first time via bike path without having to actually go into traffic. So you can get all the way from Cathedral Oaks to Goleta Beach without having to dodge a lot of cars. So yeah, we're just, these are the kinds of things that we're doing. It's that local know-how, listening to the community, being engaged, recognizing that when you listen to everybody and you don't think that you can just solve every problem by yourself, but by partnering with people, whether it's our residents or our friends at the county or the city of Santa Barbara, we can do a lot more if we do it together.
What influence do you think national politics will have in this race?
I don't know how much of an effect it's going to have locally. I know that there are a lot of people that are really frustrated at the national level by what some people would perceive as a lack of progress and what other people might perceive as being a whole lot of progress that they may or may not agree with, right? But I think that I do think that there will be a lot of attention on the ballot, and I do think that there will be a lot of attention on some of the different ballot initiatives. But I think really just here in Goleta, we're really just focused on, trying to do something about affordable housing and childcare, and, take care of our streets and, work on our pavement. We just found out that from our city staff that the cost of getting our pavement in the city of Goleta back to the level that we want to in terms of quality of our roads is going to be about $13 million. And so that's going to be a really big challenge for a city that has a general fund of about $40 million. So that money's going to have to come from somewhere. We're going to have to make some tough choices, and we're going to have to look at different ways to generate revenue to be able to meet those challenges.
How would you like to see the city grow over the next 5 to 10 years?
Carefully, thoughtfully. You really only get one shot at it when it comes to growth. So if you mess it up, there's really no way to reverse it. The city of Goleta has built a lot of housing in the last decade. 1,300 units plus have been built, largely approved from prior city councils prior to 2018, but a lot of it has been built just in the last 4 years, 1,300 units. The problem with that growth that was previously approved is that only about 9% of the housing was actually affordable to most people that live or work here when you look at it through the lens of our average median income. So for me, the challenge when it comes to growth is not just addressing housing, but addressing affordable housing. One way that we've met that challenge head on is by passing an inclusionary housing policy that is the strongest in our county. What that means is that for every unit of housing that we approve in the future on projects of 5 or more units, for every 4 units that can get approved at market rate, there has to be one for the rest of us. That's affordable housing. We have a 20% inclusionary housing standard. That's the highest inclusionary requirement in the county, because we recognize that there's a lot of people that want to live in Goleta. It's a beautiful place. It's a place where people love to come to live, work, and play. And so it's always going to be desirable if we treat it the right way and if we grow the right way, carefully, thoughtfully, living within our resources, and ensuring that affordability is the hallmark of what we talk about and what we focus on. I'll give you a couple of specific examples, though, just since I've been in office, of how we've addressed housing. One example is that there was a project in kind of northeastern Goleta where we voted to allow a small business owner who owns some land to actually pursue a congregate housing project for seniors, a senior care facility. And so I'm really proud of that. That's one thing that we've done. Another thing that we've done to address housing is that we're working right now with the County Housing Authority to transform the Super 8 motel at the corner of Hollister and Fairview into 59 permanent supportive housing units for people that have experienced homelessness, for people that are at risk of homelessness, and help get their lives back on track so that they can enjoy the same freedoms and liberties that we all want to enjoy, and be able to make a contribution and feel really good about themselves.
And then final question, and it's an open question. Anything else that you would like to say to the voters? Any other topic you want to discuss?
Absolutely. I think this election is really about experience and local experience. And I think the thing that really sets me apart in this race is that I have the local knowledge of the challenges we face, and I have the local relationships and the experience to get things done on those challenges, whether it's homelessness, affordable housing, protecting our environment, and making sure we grow the right way so that we can keep Goleta the good land. And that's why I have the support of so many people from throughout the region, whether it's 3 members of the Goleta Planning Commission, 3 of my council colleagues on the Goleta City Council, 5 members of the Santa Barbara City Council, 4 of the 5 members of the County Board of Supervisors, our County Firefighters Association, our Deputy Sheriff's Association, the Sierra Club, and the Democratic Party, and Planned Parenthood.